When you think of John Legend, you probably hear velvet vocals, picture Chrissy Teigen calling him a sexy nerd, and assume his life's been one long romantic piano solo. But behind the Grammys and love songs is a story that's part Lifetime drama, part TED Talk, and part… Wait, is this a Netflix doc? John didn't just float to fame on falsetto. He battled through his mother's addiction, heartbreaking loss, and even cried on a piano bench at 10. No superpowers, just music, brains, and enough emotional stamina to rival any Marvel backstory. Where the piano was stable, but everything else not so much. John Roger Stevens was born on December 28, 1978 in Springfield, Ohio. A Capricorn with gospel chords in his bloodstream, he was basically born wearing a bow tie and harmonizing with the Doctor. His family was musical to their core. Mom Phyllis was a choir director, Dad Ronald was a drummer, and his grandmother played the organ at church. Family dinners were probably less past the peas and more past the mic. By the age of 4, little John was already playing piano. Not chopsticks, we're talking real music. By 7, he was singing in the church choir. The man was a prodigy, folks. The only thing he didn't do was show up to preschool in a tuxedo holding a Grammy. But just when you think, wow, what a wholesome Hallmark beginning, life decided to flip the script. His beloved grandmother passed away when he was 10, a huge emotional blow. Shortly afterward, his parents' marriage collapsed faster than a Hollywood engagement. His mother, devastated by grief and personal struggles, spiraled into depression and eventually addiction. Over the next 10 years, Phyllis was in and out of jail and treatment facilities. John once described it bluntly. She was lost to us for a decade. So, picture this, a 10-year-old genius with a gospel-sized heart, dealing with abandonment, grief, and emotional whiplash, all while still making perfect scores and perfect harmonies. Some kids play with action figures. John Legend compartmentalized his trauma and joined a jazz ensemble, the student who could sing you under the table. Instead of lashing out, John leaned in. School became his safe space. He skipped 2 grades. He became a spelling bee assassin. He was basically the Hermione Granger of Springfield, except with more falsetto and fewer wands. He ended up at the University of Pennsylvania, majoring in English and singing with the a cappella group counterparts. Because of course he did. If you think Ivy League nerd who writes essays on James Baldwin by day and slays R&B riffs by night sounds like a dating app fantasy, you're not wrong. But that was Legend's reality. Even while studying, he never stopped hustling musically. He played local gigs, recorded demos, and prayed someone would hear that golden voice and offer him a break that didn't involve exposure as compensation. From Lauryn Hill to Kanye West to Get Lifted. In college, he got his first industry break by playing piano on Lauryn Hill's Everything is Everything, a casual flex. Then, in 2001, a friend introduced him to a rising producer named Kanye West. Back when Kanye was still mostly known for beats and not whatever Kanye is now, Legend and Kanye started working together, and in 2004, John dropped his debut album, Get Lifted, produced by Kanye. It won Grammys. It hit charts. Your aunt probably slow danced to Ordinary People at her second wedding. Suddenly, the kid who used to cry alone on a piano bench had become a star. But even as the red carpets rolled out, he was carrying the weight of everything he'd gone through and everything he was still healing from. The mom who came back from the abyss. While his career was rising, another miracle happened. His mother, yes, Phyllis made a full comeback. After a decade of darkness, addiction, and absence, she overcame her struggles, got clean, and reunited with her family. Imagine turning around in your Grammy speech and seeing the mom you hadn't seen sober in 10 years, smiling and proud. Try not to cry, I dare you. Legend has always spoken about this part of his life with humility and grace. He doesn't hold bitterness. Instead, he talks about how the system failed her. He doesn't say, "My mom ruined my childhood." He says, "My mom needed help, and jail wasn't help." That's not just forgiveness, that's empathy on steroids. And it wasn't just personal closure. This experience lit a fire in him for activism. From there, he became deeply invested in issues like criminal justice reform, addiction recovery, and mass incarceration. He launched Free America, a campaign to end mass incarceration and support rehabilitative justice. So yes, he sings lullabies, but he also fights for prison reform before breakfast. Chrissy Teigen enters stage left and steals the show. In 2006, John met Chrissy Teigen on the set of his Stereo music video. According to legend, and Chrissy's Twitter, she walked into his dressing room, saw his underwear, and still wanted to date him. Love is blind, people. They had chemistry, charisma, and just the right amount of chaos. After dating for a few years, and one brief breakup that lasted about 3 seconds, they got married in Italy in 2013, Lake Como to be precise. Because when John Legend throws a wedding, he does it like a James Bond villain in love. They went on to have 2 children, Luna and Miles, and 2 more, Esty and Ren, later via IVF and surrogacy. But in 2020, their seemingly perfect life was hit with devastating heartbreak. They lost their 3rd child, Jack, at 20 weeks due to pregnancy complications. The miscarriage that became a movement. Instead of hiding their grief, they did the unthinkable, they shared it. Chrissy posted raw photos from the hospital, tears and all. It stunned the world. Some people applauded, others cringed. But millions found comfort. For once, someone famous wasn't pretending pain didn't exist. They were inviting us into it. Later, Chrissy revealed the loss had actually been an abortion, a medically necessary one that saved her life. That revelation lit up the media and helped reframe conversations about reproductive health. And through it all, John Legend was there holding her hand, singing her through the sorrow and writing new songs that turned grief into grace. He said the tragedy brought them closer, and it showed too. Instead of crumbling, they leaned into each other, parented through tears, and kept their humor shockingly intact. Because yes, even during grief, Chrissy was tweeting about chicken wings, dad jokes, Twitter feuds, and legendary laughs. Let's not forget, John Legend is funny. Like, nerdy uncle who knows how to code switch between gospel and Game of Thrones. Funny. He roasts Chrissy, roasts himself, and roasts political figures, all with that disarming smile that says, yes, I will destroy you, but politely. Whether it's showing up on The Voice with a glitter blazer or narrating a headspace meditation with more emotion than your ex ever gave you, Legend blends warmth and wit like the musical therapist you never knew you needed. He once said, when you marry a supermodel, even your sweatpants become a public statement. Honestly, the man should get a Tony just for surviving Twitter with that much dignity. The tragedy that made him truly legendary. So, what does it all mean? What does a decade without a mother, a miscarriage, and a life of vulnerability teach you? It teaches you that pain is real, but so is power. That you can cry on a piano and still end up on People magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. That you can lose someone and still love deeply. That being soft doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're awake. Every note John Legend sings has weight. Every lyric about love or heartbreak is stitched with scars. And every win, every Grammy, every standing ovation, every goofy smile feels earned because it is. If this video inspired you, cracked a smile, or made you ugly cry in the best way, go ahead and hit that like and smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment below. What's your favorite John Legend song or moment that hit you right in the feels? Thanks for watching, and remember, behind every legend, there's a story worth telling.